Hi, I'm Deanna Janelle. I want to thank you for taking this course. Writing is a great way to help you deal with what you're going through. I know because it happened to me. I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called multiple myeloma. And my doctor told me, quote, "You've been dealt a bad hand." Not only did I have cancer, I had the most aggressive form of that cancer. 85% of my bone marrow was compromised by this cancer. That was in October of 2023. Now it's June of 2025. And as you can tell, I am still here. And I want to share with you how I got through it. I'm sure everyone's story is different. My story is different than yours. Your story is different than mine. It'll be different from everyone else's. But the important thing is it's a story. And let me tell you a quick story. I had lunch with a friend of mine named Kevin after I got my diagnosis. And he said, "I want to send you a book and I want you to read chapter 10." And that book was about spontaneous remission from all sorts of diseases with all sorts of ways to recover from mind, body, and eating to exercise to reinventing yourself to some mystical things to some religious things to some diet and health things. It made a lot of sense to me. In fact, I read chapter 10 and then I read the rest of the book and then I read the book 3 times. And after I read that book, I said, God wants me to live. This isn't a religious thing, but the point is that I had the spirit and the will and the knowledge and the hope that I could survive. How? Because I read a book. And then I started writing about my experiences. First, just on a spreadsheet to keep track of what day I was in the process and what was happening that day, how I felt, whether I had a fever, whether I had a doctor appointment, whether they were giving me injections, whether I was on chemo drugs or had a respite for them for a couple of days and before beginning again. I found relief in writing. I realized that other people could find relief in writing too. That's why I created this course that I'm glad you're going to be part of, because writing can help you in many ways. First, it can help you deal with the issues yourself, even if you don't share your writing with anyone else. And that's perfectly fine. You can write just for yourself. You want to write and publish a book? I tell you, you can go to Amazon and see lots of people who have cancer who've written books. There are a lot of people who have written books about cancer. But I think there's another reason for writing a book, and that is to leave your legacy, to share your ideas and your rules for living and things you've learned over your life with your family, with your children, with your grandchildren, and with your grandchildren who frankly haven't even been born yet. The ones who will wonder, who was that man? Who was that woman? Who was that person from so many generations ago who helped me become the person I am today? Here's where you can tell your story so they can get to know you. I'm more than pleased to be able to help you on your journey. Let's look to the next lesson and get started. Thank you.